Hi, in this video I will be taking you through some of the default setup options that DealerClick has, as well as showing you how to add users to DealerClick and the security behind it so that you as owners and managers can add user accounts to the system and control what each user can and cannot do in the system. We will start by setting up the defaults for DMV and seller fees, and I'm just going to run you through some of the more commonly used options. Now when you're entering the fees, there are two ways to do it. The first method is going to apply to the fees as actual defaults, so they will apply to every deal going forward in the system. The second method will be to apply the fees to the particular deal you are working with and will not affect any other deals. So to set up the fees as defaults, so they will apply to every deal going forward, we go to Setup, Defaults, and Fees, and you can apply a pack to any cars you like, whether they're new or used right here. And then Additional, this is the dealer or dealership fees. You can add a dealer smog or dock admin fee. So I'm just going to put in a $250 dock fee. And then if you have any miscellaneous fees that are not shown here, whether they're taxable or non-taxable for your dealership, you can enter the amount in here, and then description would be the title of the fee. You can leave the company field blank. That's irrelevant at this point. The same thing goes for down below. So if there's non-taxable fees you want to apply, put in the amount, description being the title of the fee, and then the company, or actually ignore the company. And then for government fees, these are your DMV fees. You can enter any of the fees that apply to up here. For example, I'll just put in a $100 registration fee just to show you. And then if you have any unique DMV fees that our system does not specify, you can enter those fees in the other fields below. Just put in the amount, and then in here put the description, which is the title of the fee itself. From here, click on OK, and now the fees have been applied. Only thing we need to do now to make them show would be to refresh the screen. To do this, you're going to go to New in the upper left corner, click Yes to create a new deal, and now you can see our DMV fee has applied for 100, and then the seller fee, which is the 250 dock fee, is now applied to the system. Now, if you have entered any deals before you applied these defaults, as I said earlier, defaults won't apply to the previous deals, only the deals going forward. So how do you apply fees to those deals? Simple. Just open up the deal, and then you're going to click on the DMV fees button, and as you can see, the registration fee I applied earlier is now in this, but you can add it in here at this point, and then click on close, and it will be automatically applied to the deal. Same for the seller fees, which are the dealership fees. Click the button, and as you can see, the 250 dock fee I applied earlier is now in here. You can apply it to the deal or any other information that you applied to the defaults in the same window. Click close, and it's now going to apply to that particular deal. At this point, all you'd have to do is save it, and the deal is now saved with the DMV fees. Okay. As for taxes, you have a few options on how to set those up. You can set up the taxes to be populated based on the customer's zip code, or you can choose to set a county as the default so that no matter what information you put in the deal for customer, the dealership select a default will continue to apply the deal's taxes. To set this up, you go to Setup, Defaults, and Taxes, and from here you have the lower right region, which is going to show you the options you have. The most commonly used are the first one or the middle one. So using the customer zip code, this is when you're entering the deal's information and you enter the customer zip code and it populates the county based on the zip code. That then applies the county to the deal, and then the taxes applied to that county automatically populate. That's this first option. The second option is using the dealership defaults. This is when you select this option, you go into Setup, Lists, and Counties, and you go into, when the window populates, you're going to have a list at the very bottom. You go through that list to see which county has the taxes you want. You apply that county as a default, and then it's automatically going to populate for you. So once it comes up in this window, so you can scroll through this window on the bottom, and then let's say I want to make this one, the top option, my default. I double clicked on it to apply the information up here. Check default, you hit save, and now just click on, and now you can see the default has applied yes. Now click on close, and now when I refresh the page again, I now have the default. So it's not going to base it off customer information anymore. It's going to keep this regardless of what the customer zip code is. So if I was to take $100 in here now, you can see it automatically applies the 9%. The only other part of taxes that you really need to know would be defaults, taxes, and then the options on the lower left. If you want to add a tax credit to your trade-in vehicles, go ahead and check this. If you want to tax your service contracts, your gap insurance, your dock admin fee, dealer smuggle DMV fees, go ahead and check any of these boxes as well. Click OK, and when you refresh, again, it's going to it'll initiate within the deal itself. So that concludes the taxes portion. The final thing would be to add users and the security. To add any users to the system, you're going to go to Setup, Lists, and Employees. This window shows you what users are in the system already versus what users can be added. So I applied test as a previous username. Okay, this is the default username, which is admin auto. Then this is the second, which is DealerClick. This is the one I added in. Okay, to add a new user to the system, you're going to apply a last name, which in this case we'll just put last name as username because last name is in fact the username when you process it. Then you have the first name. I'll put first in there. You can leave middle name alone. Everything from social security all the way down to cell phone is all optional. You just want to apply the type of person they are, such as a salesperson, if they're going to be salesperson, closer, manager, whatever their title in the company is. If they are, they're a salesperson and you want to apply a default commission percentage for them when they're doing deals, you can apply that in here. If you don't want to apply any default commission percentage rates, just leave it blank or leave it as a 0. Then you have security level. 1 is the lowest, 6 is the highest. At level 1, they don't really have permission to do anything in the system except log in, and that's basically it. 3 would be an average user. They can come in, they can create a deal, save a deal, and pretty much get the deal set up for transfer. That's about it. They can't, and they can open a previously saved deal as well, but they can't transfer deal to sold. That's administrative work usually, unless you want to change the security settings to allow that, which I'll show you here in just a minute. And then level 5 and 6 are the top levels. The difference between the two is level 5 has no limitations in the software except it cannot access this employee's window. Level 6 has 0 limitations. It can do everything including access this employee's window. That's the only difference. For passwords, you have to put a unique password for every user in the system, and there's no strict limit. You can put in a few characters, you can put in several characters, it's up to you. Once you have the user information in, simply click Add. As you can see, first and last name is now in the system. If you ever want to modify a user, you can simply double click on their name, and as you can see, I double clicked on it, the information appeared at the top. From here, you can alter the last name, the first name, or any other information, even the security level or change of password. Simply choose update, and the information is then updated. From here, you're ready to look at the security settings. So we click close, and we go to setup, and then security. What these numbers all indicate is what the security level must be of the user in order for them to perform a certain action. So for example, in the upper left corner, you have new deal, open deal, save deal. All of them set to level 3. This means that the user must have a security level of level 3 or higher to perform these actions. Level 5 for transfer deal, delete deal, and unwind deal. It means that this is an administrative task. So what this means is you can also change these user security levels by simply clicking the left arrow to reduce the security or right arrow to increase the security. So you have full control over what you want these levels to be at, and then base the user accounts around these accordingly. Okay, and that is that's the users and the security. That pretty much finishes up all you need to know about the software. If you have any further questions, feel free to call in. Our number is 714-619-2000. That's the direct technical support line.